Hello and welcome to the Darlington FC podcast. This week we're joined by Mark Fanning, Darlington Under-18s team manager. Hi Mark.
Hello there.
So the senior team had a 3-2 win away at Ossett Albion this Saturday, and with another number of other teams having games postponed, how big do you think it was to get the win and put pressure on those other sides?
Football is all about momentum, and at the moment Darlow have got great momentum. They're going into games confident, winning and getting the 3 points. The last thing you want is a break and lose that bit of momentum. So vital, get the game played, get the 3 points on the board, and get those guys up above looking over the shoulders. They can see that Darlow are coming, and missing games isn't going to do them any good. They're going to have fixture pile up later in the season, and that all adds to the pressure.
What do you think the difference is in the upturn in form? What's caused it, do you think?
I think Martin and the backroom staff sat down, had a look at the formation, the way they were playing, and they just felt that the balance wasn't maybe quite right, and they've just tweaked one or two things, which has made them a little bit more attacking minded, particularly from their own half, getting out a lot quicker, putting teams under a lot more pressure, and it seems to be working for them.
I think a lot of people would have expected Darlington to maybe have an easier time of it on Saturday, having beaten Ossett so comfortably earlier in the season. So why do you think it was that it was such a tough test?
It's like any team that you play. If they're down at the bottom, they're looking to improve, and they'll bring new players in, new faces, and they'll work on things that aren't working particularly well. If you look at their last couple or so results, they've played teams from the top half of the table and only lost by an odd goal. So you know it was always going to be a tough test for them. And any team who's playing Darlington, they always up the game, always up the game.
So in the game on Saturday, Darlington were 1-0 down at half time. How crucial was it, do you think, to start quickly in the second half, like they did with the early goal?
I've no doubt that Martin will have said to them at half time, we've got to start, we've got to get out of the blocks, we've got to get them under pressure early doors, get them on the back foot, and by getting that early goal, then the tide's turning and it's moving in the right direction. Sometimes you can do the best, you can get everybody prepared, the lads can be ready for it, and just for some reason it just doesn't happen, and particularly in the first half when the other team have got something to hang on to, then we can make it very difficult. But yeah, knowing Martin, he will have got him really fired up for the second half, and that was proven in the way that the second half panned out.
A couple of weeks ago we saw in the cup game there was a number of the youth team squad were integrated into the senior squad against Gateshead. How pleasing was it for you to see them make the step up?
I mean, it's fantastic for the lads themselves. You know, they work hard. You keep promising them that if they do the right things and they impress, then the chances are that the first team will give them an opportunity. And fair play to Martin, he will pick them and he will bring them along and give them a go. And I thought they performed very well up at Gateshead. We stuck to our task. We set out with a formation that was probably slightly negative to try just not let the floodgates open early doors, and then second half we changed to 4-4-2. And we said to the lads, have a go at them and see what happens. And I thought we played really well. And it's good that these kids get the opportunity to play in a big stadium like that, big crowd, experienced opposition, and hopefully it'll give them a good standing for if and when they get called in by the first team in the Evo stick.
So do you see many of the current youth team players getting calls up to the senior team anytime in the near future or in the next few years?
It's a hard one to answer, because obviously as the first team keeps progressing through the leagues, the gap between under-18s football and that level widens. But yeah, there's definitely some good young talent down there that we're trying to nurture, we're trying to bring through the right way, so that if ever they do get the call up, they're not asked to play a formation that they're not used to, they're not asked to do things differently that they're not used to. We try to mirror as much the first team as we possibly can. And yeah, we've got some good talent, and particularly next year coming through as well, we've got good under-17s coming through as well. So hopefully you'll see a lot more of the younger lads coming into the first team.
And how do you think the Martin Gray Academy, how do you think that can assist building your youthful squads and for now and the future?
Well, it's almost a double whammy for the lads, because not only are they getting the coaching when they come training with the under-18s or the under-17s and all the way through, but they're also, when they're at the academy with Martin and his backroom staff there, they're getting constant training throughout the day, as well as the scholarship side of things. So hopefully they're getting almost a professional treatment of education and also football side of things, which, you know, unless you're at Middlesbrough or Sunderland, you don't get that. So it's good, and we will continue, and probably most of our recruits will come through Martin's Academy.
So overall, how are the under-18s getting on this season, and are you happy with the performances they've been putting in?
I think if you look at last season, it was mainly an under-17 side playing in an under-18s league, and it was split into 2 divisions, and I think they finished 3rd bottom. They took some heavy defeats, and I think 1 or 2 got a bit demoralised, but this season we've been able to keep a lot of the good under-18 players, add some under-17 players to the squad as well. Me being me, I always want to win every single game, so having lost 6 already, that's a little bit disappointing, but overall some of the football that they play, the way that they conduct themselves, the way that they're maturing, very, very pleasing indeed.
And do you think the potential addition of an under-21 team would help integrate the players?
Without a doubt. That's got to be the next step for the club. If you look at it now, we've virtually got every age group covered and every section finished. The only thing that's missing really is that gap between the under-18s and the first team. And as I said earlier, as that gap gets wider, as the first team progresses, it's vital now to get that next step, to get the under-18s into an under-21 or a reserve side, so that they can continue learning the game, playing with more experienced people, obviously getting the right coaching, and try to get them ready to get into that first team.
So Saturday, the under-18s team was meant to be playing Gateshead Red Hue, but that game was called off. So how much of a disappointment was that?
We like the first team. We want to keep the momentum going. We had a good performance at Gateshead, a good result at Lambton Street. We were itching to get out on the park last Saturday and obviously play Gateshead for the 3rd time and hopefully get a victory there. Unfortunately, the state of the pitches with all the weather we've got to expect it around this time of year that we are going to get games called off, and even our game on Saturday against Stockton's in doubt at the moment because of the bad weather. So frustrating, but we train tonight and hopefully get the game in on Saturday. So
this week the club announced extension to the fundraising initiatives to the 17th of February now, and a new fans forum on the 5th of February. So what would you say to fans who are thinking about making an investment into the club?
I think if this club wants to progress the way that obviously Martin and the committee and everybody want the club to progress, it's vital for the club to get back into the town, and the only way that they can do that is with investment. And what better way as a fan to show your support of the club than become an investor, become part of the club, be part of that steamroller as this club's building its momentum and moving on, and get the club back into the town, and where hopefully we can prosper and move on even further.
So finally, the senior team host Camel Laird this week. Do you think that they can keep the undefeated streak going?
I've got to say yes, haven't I? But no, seriously, there's no reason why they can't. On the day, they're a match for anybody in this division. They've already proven that they can go away and win at the top sides. If everything clicks, then there's no better footballing side, in my opinion, in this division. And yeah, they can turn anybody over, particularly at home. Very, very strong at home. It depends, obviously. People go there looking at the league table, expecting big score lines. It doesn't happen every week because opposition change the shape, change the way they were going to play. But knowing Martin, he'll have everybody prepared, they'll be ready and looking to get those next 3 points on the board.